Now I'm ready for the middle main bearing. I've cleaned and inspected the surfaces, cleaned and inspected the shims, got them laid in place. Now I'm going to put the bearing cap on. And I have the plastic gauge in place. So let's see how this one goes on. One time I made the mistake of having my fingers in here and it kind of dropped kind of quick and almost pinched myself good. Now let's look to see if that went down in place. Good. Oh, the shims on this side aren't completely in place. This side is down properly. We gotta play with the other side a little bit. Let's just see if a little tap will make the difference. Got that, did it. It's dropped in place properly now. Right here is where I look to see if the shims are in place. Right here is where it's a real snug fit when this lip on the cap fits over the lower bearing shell. That's a couple little taps do. Now I'll oil the threads and nuts. And here's another indication this engine's been into, which we know it has been, but it's got two different castle nuts. The one on the left is an original. The one on the right you can see doesn't have rounded corners on the top as much. And you can see that the slots were handmade instead of machined. So that's been was replaced. Probably lost one. Now I have to move the camera again. Tighten the bearing cap down and loosen it back up and took the nuts off. Now I'll pull it off and check the plastic gauge. This has got to be a lot hard to do if you're doing it. I know I said I can take it apart through the side, which you could, but maybe my estimate is how long it would take isn't exactly accurate, because it'd be a lot harder to do just working through the holes on the sides versus the being able to lift through the top. Now there it comes. See, that's how hard it sticks on that lower cap. Let's see how the plastic gauge looks. There's the one, and there's the other one. That one isn't squeezed very wide at all. I'm going to get the gauge and look at them. There isn't any indication of it on the cap this time, so I'm going to have to carefully look at these, so I don't know if I'll be able to show it to you, hold the camera and the gauge and the light all at the same time. I'm going to have to think about this one a little and check my shims. Whether I should just put it back together originally the way it was or make it a little tighter, because this one shows like 7/1000s on one end and 9/1000s on the other. I don't know why it should vary, but you know, this is a big old engine. So I'm going to see how thick the shims are. The shim stacks should be the same on both sides when you're shimming bearings. And this one, from the left side to crawler, shows to be about 148. I know it isn't coming into focus. See, I'm not that great with this stuff. And the shim stack from the right side is about 155. So the shim stack from the right side is about 7/1000 thicker. I'm going to measure a shim. Now the thinnest shim I find is 5/1000. On the rear main, I put the shims in exactly the way they came out. And seen one stack is thicker than the other, and that's the way I took them out. I'm going to take a 5/1000 out of the thicker one to bring it down to about 152. So theoretically, taking out a 5/1000 shim on one side should take about 2.5 out of the clearance. And we're going to see how that works out. I don't know, I can't get it to focus, but it's squeezed out at a little less than 6/1000. It ain't quite as wide as the 7. So I'm going to call that good. I oiled the bearing. Let's see how it goes. Turning real nice. I'm going to turn the camera up here on so you can see how the bar works. And that's how they turn it for starting it. Well, now I got the center main cap on. All that's left is the front one. And then I gotta adjust the nuts and cotter pin them. But I think that's going to be it for today. Thanks again for watching. Sorry about the ending of the last video, the way it got cut off. We'll see you later.